Greetings, my name is Matt Wallrath and I serve as the Invasive Species Project Coordinator for the Upper Sugar River Watershed Association in Mount Horeb. Now, if this was a normal spring, we'd be in a field somewhere playing games to teach you about invasive species. But instead, I hope that this video can find you safe at home to teach you a bit about what we would have covered with your classmates out at a park. So, you might ask, what are invasive species? Raise your hand if you've heard of them before. I have. It's my job. It's my job to recognize, monitor, and prevent them from getting established in Wisconsin. I focus on areas that are beautiful places, just like the park that I'm in right now, that are what we would call high quality ecological spaces, or just nice nature. And from there, we want to make sure that our native plants and animals have the best chance they can of continuing the life that they know here in Wisconsin. So what do invasive species do? Why are we concerned about them? Invasive species are considered one of the top 5, maybe the number 2 threat to all natural diversity in America. Only second to development. So development comes in and they pave over the spots that our trees and frogs and birds would have lived in. Invasive species do sort of the same thing. Invasive species are going to be sort of the bully in the room as far as species go. They push other species around. They say, no, this is my space. And because of that, our native plants and animals don't have as much of a space to live and grow as they would have before those invasive species arrived. So here in this park, I'm going to show you an example of one of the invasive species that you might know, or your parents might know about, that's pretty widespread in Wisconsin. It's called garlic mustard. So, as we look around on the forest floor, and I pan up, we're going to see some trees, we're going to see some nice little sprouts, but you'll notice, as I come over here, there is a sea of green, and it all looks the same. Right now, it has little white flowers on it, because it's the same species. It's called garlic mustard. So as we come in here closely, just look at how closely packed this stuff is. And this is a shady spot. If you go out here, it just keeps going and going and going. Now, this is something that perhaps 40 years ago would have had lots of little maple tree starts, or some things we call spring ephemerals, though they'd be just leaving right about now, that would be popping up to suck in the sun, make some roots, make some seeds, and do their thing for the next year. Instead, we're surrounded by garlic mustard. As you can see, it makes a carpet. It makes it so that the other species out here that would like to grow and thrive are instead being smothered by the leaves of garlic mustard. It does smell like garlic. You can even eat it. It's probably brought here as medicinal, but now it's way out of control. So this kind of overtaking of habitat is what we're talking about when we're talking about invasive species. Holy cow. That's a lot of garlic mustard. What's cool is when you dig underneath the garlic mustard, you do find other plants. Everything's still growing. But only for a while. Garlic mustard's kind of choking it out. Thanks for taking a walk with me out here. And once we get in the shade, the garlic mustard kind of goes away. So what can we do to help stop the spread of invasive species? It's pretty simple. It's probably something that your teachers or guardians already would like you to do. And the big thing is clean your boots, clean your clothes. The garlic mustard that I just showed you, it likes to hitchhike on mud on the bottom of your shoes. So, since one of these plants can make hundreds and hundreds of seeds, they sit on top of the soil waiting for a mountain bike or a pair of boots to come by. And they get themselves squeezed in with the mud so that when you walk to another spot, that seed, when you walk to another spot, maybe another forest or a stream, that seed is ready to drop off and start a whole new population. And because invasive species grow so well in disturbed areas and they carry themselves around with us as people, we as humans are often responsible for the spread of these, which can be bad for our neighboring plants and animals that we would like to see thrive as well with us in the natural environment. So remember, friends, it's all of our jobs to help prevent these bully plants from taking over the woods. Make sure to clean off your boots after running around in the woods. Give those hitchhikers a scrape off so they can't affect another park or another forest near you. And of course, right now, don't be afraid. Remember to get outside and enjoy yourself in these strange times, because the nature will bring you great joy. It brings me great joy. And it's something that we all share as people in Wisconsin. Our state parks and forests are a shared resource that all of us together can use, love, and protect for future generations. So I've got some more video here about how I like to go out into the field and monitor in a lake for invasive species. Stay tuned for that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Here we are at Blackhawk Lake. It's a beautiful spot out in Iowa County, and this spot has been undergoing a lot of work to remove an aquatic invasive species called Eurasian water milfoil. And I'll be here doing a little bit of testing to make sure that we don't find any more of that, as well as conducting some work to get our volunteers out here so that they can help prevent any more of that from coming in. So over the summer, we'll have people stationed here at this boat landing, and their job will be to conduct inspections on boats to make sure that they're not dragging in any aquatic invasive species. And that's going to help keep this lake safe for our native plants and animals and all the fish that we like to catch. It's important work and something that I'd like to teach you more about. All right, so our brave volunteer Abby is out here, and she's going to show us how we do some of these searches for aquatic invasive species. So as I mentioned, there used to be Eurasian water milfoil in this lake, but they've been working really hard to get it out. But we want to check and make sure it's not back there. So Abby is going to use the throw rake technique to toss this rake into the water, and she's going to reel it back in, and we're going to check out what she's got while maintaining social distancing. All right, so step on that orange puppy.
Oh yeah. Don't want to lose the whole thing.
That's right.
Okay.
Here she goes. All right.
Perfect.
It's like fishing, but for plants and snails.
Yes, they are here too. Oh, and it's upside down.
No, that's why that's a double rake, so it's all good.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah. All right, here it comes. All right, we got some goodies.
Okay.
All right, what do you think? All right, that looks not a milfoil, I don't think.
No.
Nope. Well, that's good.
Looks like no invasives in this batch.
Excellent. Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, Abby is going to be helping us do at this very boat landing, helping us prevent this lake from getting any of these invasive species reestablished after all the volunteers have gone through and worked out and pulled a bunch of the stuff that can choke out the native fish populations. So, you want to give her one more toss?
Yes, I think we should.
All right, all right.
One sample is never good.
That's right. This is the kind of fishing that I can get into because you always catch something. So when I was at this lake teaching kids last year, we found some curly leaf pondweed, which is around here, but no Eurasian water milfoil. Okay, looks
Looks the same.
the same.
Beautiful.
Looks like a potamogeton of some variety, maybe some sort of pondweed, but not our invasive stuff. So, Abby, thank you for your monitoring help, and we're happy to say no aquatic invasive species detected. To conclude, let's remember to keep our eyes out for invasive species, learn what they look like, and how to prevent them from spreading. Clean your boots. Make sure that you scrape off the mud and gunk that might be carrying seeds from other spots. And if you like to boat with your parents, remind them to clean off their boats after going out in the water as well. Get off those plants, those seeds, those little bits of vegetation that might be hanging on, maybe even snails or other types of fish or crayfish that might live inside the live wells. Make sure you drain all the water out of your boat before you leave the landing. And by doing these simple steps, you'll get a happy boat that'll be clean when you come home, and you get happy lakes and rivers that are free from invasive species that might otherwise affect the fishing and the lives of the animals that live there. So thank you again for your attention, and have a great summer. I'll see you next year. Bye.